Okay, so in this session, we are going to see how to apply a patch in VM DB system. So far, we have applied as a DBA n number of patches in um, n number of patches in legacy environment, and applying a patch is our day-to-day day-to-day activities, right? Because we used to apply one-off patches to fix various bugs like performance related bugs and various other bugs, ORA errors, so on. And of course we apply patches like uh, CPU patches, PSU patches, then BP, RU, RER, depending on your version, correct? So Oracle Cloud Infrastructure environment, whether a DBA is going to apply a patch or Oracle Cloud is automatically going to handle it. So some guys used to ask, okay, once I migrated to OCI, whether we have to apply the patches. Of course, you have to apply the patches. You are the one going to manage your database. Oracle is not going to manage your database. It's a database as a service. Okay, it is not a software as a service, right? So it is a database as a service. So you are the one going to manage your database. You are the one going to tune your performance. You are the one going to change your parameter file. You are the one going to apply a patch. Okay, so all these things you are going to do it, correct? Okay, so how to apply a patch so now the question is there any different? I'm working on legacy environment, so I have to we are migrating to OCI. So is there any difference to apply a patch in OCI environment? Yes, you cannot for applying a one-off patch there is absolutely no difference. You can use one-off patch, but every quarter we used to apply PSU patches. So how we are going to do? You cannot use opatch command. So for that you have to use Oracle provided utility. So you can provision your you can um, um, uh, you can provision your database in VM DB system, or you can provision your database in bare metal services, or you can provision your bare metal services, or you can provision XRCS, right? So if you don't know the difference, definitely, if you want, we can go through it in a separate session. So here, okay, VM DB system, how we are going to apply the patch? We are going to apply the patch using DB CLI or console or APIs or CLI. And bare metal system, it's exactly same. XRCS, we are going to use DB CLI, which in turn called XR-patch multi. So that we will see in a separate session. Okay, so here in this session, what we are going to see, we are going to see how to apply a patch using DB CLI. Of course, we can use console API CLI if you want. We can go through it separately in a different session. So now we are going to see how we are going to apply a patch using DB CLI. Okay, so DB CLI is Oracle provided tool. Once you installed your cloud software, once you provision your database in the in the VM DB system, by default you will find it is DB CLI now. Okay, so now since you are provisioning your database in a VM DB system, there are certain things you should understand, right? So you can certain things you should understand, you should know. Take for example, you in a legacy environment, you are a DBA, you are going to install the environment, so you can install wherever you want. You can install in U01, D01 or P01, wherever you want you can install, and you can keep the file system as ASM or you can keep the file system as cook file system. It is all up to you. Okay, you are the one going to decide on that. But since it is a DB system, you can only decide on the version what you are going to use, right? You cannot decide on where you are going to install the software and and also the instance name. See, when you are installing the software, you can give Oracle SID as anything you want. You can based on your company name, you can change your SID name. But here it is not like that. Always your SID will be ORCL. That's what here I want to show the same to you. So always your SID is ORCL. And and uh, um, uh, what about the file system? File system is always ASM. So once you provision the VM DB system, okay, you will have ASM is instance is up and running, and your instance ORCL is up and running. Okay, now since the ASM in legacy environment, if you have non-rack environment, of course you will not have grid home. Okay, if you have non-rack environment, then you will not have grid home. But here in VM DB system, since you are using the ASM file system, since ASM is part of your grid, you will get a grid home. Okay, so this is your grid home and this is your database home. And you should understand your grid home is always owned by grid user and database home is always owned by Oracle user. So you cannot have your username like OR P something blah blah blah. You cannot have it, right? So your database software is always owned by Oracle. Your grid software is always owned by grid. That you should understand. Okay, and what is the difference? See, in legacy, if you want, you can install container database from Tulsi onwards. If you don't want, even in Tulsi, you can go ahead with non-container database. But in VMDB system, by default, you will get the container database. That's why here I want to show you. By default, in VMDB system, you will have a container database. So it is better to have some basic knowledge about cluster, because the file system is going to be ASM. So you are going to handle cluster services, and you should know some knowledge about the container databases, right? Because you are going to work on, whether you like it or not, you are going to work on the container database, right? So as soon as you install, if you see, I have two PDBs, pluggable database. One is PDB seed, another one is my actual PDB where my application is going to connect. And you have root container. So if you don't have a idea, suppose if you want to explore more on it, let me know, so we can explain. We can go through about the container database in a different session, right? Because you should know how to connect to the PDB, how to close the PDB, open the PDB, how to compile your invalid objects in PDB, how to apply patches in PDB seed, running a data patch verbose in PDB seed. Everything you should know, right? So you should have, it is not required to be mastering the container, but at least you should know whether what is the container common users, local users, whether it is going to have a local temporary table space, local undo table space, what about the system table space, sysocs table space. The basic understanding you should know. Only then you will connect to the correct PDB or connect root container, and you will work on it. You will work on it. Okay. Okay, so now okay, so so what are the things, what is the difference you found in cloud? You have container database, and whether you like it or not, you will have grid home. You will have a grid home, and um, you will have a separate Oracle home. Okay, so now then you have a container. Yes, we explained about that. Okay, then ORCL, everything you should know. Okay, so now here I just show you, this is a patch list. This all the other comments, like it's all database is database, right? So you won't find any difference in those comments. So this is a list of patches from my grid home. This is a list of patches from my database home. Okay, so in the VM DB system, you will find two new process called a DCS agent process. Two process related to DCS agent process. Always, this process are up and running. This DCS agent process are always up and running. Okay, so if this DCS agent process is not running, then you cannot use your DB CLI command. So it is mandatory that this process should be up and running all the time. Okay, and and one more thing, you will find one more new mount point, OPT mount point, where Oracle will keep DCS agent logs, and Oracle will push the patches from object storage to here. So if you want to know more about what is object storage, block storage, file system FSS, okay, what is snapshot and everything, we can discuss in that separate session. Okay, so DB CLI is the tool we are going to use. So where you can find this DB CLI tool, you will find it in OPT Oracle DCS bin DB CLI, right? So this is the tool. Always you have to set this one in your path, and also to use DB CLI you need root privilege, correct? So in legacy environment, normally you don't give super privilege to youngsters, right? Or you don't give the super privilege to the freshers, right? So but they can use, they just need the Oracle user to apply a patch. But here, if you want to apply a PSU patch, you have to use the DB CLI. DB CLI, you cannot call it from Oracle user. It is mandatory that you have to call it from the root user. That you should understand. Okay, so this is just background, very basic background about a VM DB system I have given so far. Now we are going to see the actual, how we are going to apply the patch in a VM DB system using DB CLI. Yes, I connected as root user, and first I'm giving DB CLI describe latest patch. This is a comment. So certain comments related to DB CLI you should know. Related to DB CLI you should know. Okay, so these are all the comments you are going to use to apply the patches, right? So you should know some basic comments. So now I'm going to this. So, and again, I am still in the planning stage. Whatever I'm executing now, users are still connected to my production environment. So I'm doing it online, right? All my services are up and running. Users are happily working. Okay, so now DB CLI describe latest patch. So what it is doing, it is just going to give you what are all the available patches in the cloud. Okay, so what it is showing for grid infrastructure, you have for different versions what patches you have. For 12.2.01 you have April 20, for 12.1.02 April 20, 18C April 20, 19C April 20. In the same way DB you have 11.2.04 also, correct? So so these are all the this is just information. This is nothing specific to the your environment. For example, see, every quarter Oracle is releasing you the patch, right? Whenever PSU patch, security patch. I should not say security because Oracle is including one-off patches as well. So now in the month of Jan, in the month of April, July, October, you are getting the patch from Oracle, right? So now you are getting the patch from Oracle. Okay, so now DB CLI describe latest patch. When you are giving, it is giving this, you are getting this output so that I understand. Okay, what is the latest version for my version? It is 20.04, right? That is April 20 I can apply. For DB 12.1.02 what I can apply? I can apply April 20. Okay, so that is available in the cloud. Normally in the legacy environment, as soon as Oracle release the patches for legacy environment, immediately it will be available in the cloud also. But I have seen for some application, especially e-business document, they will take some time to update with the latest patch. At least you will see the lag of 2-3 weeks to reflect these patches in the EBIS document, unless and until if your database is EBIS related database, then you should not apply those patches.
Okay, though you are seeing 2004, the specific patches should get updated in the, should get reflected in your EBIS document. Okay, now DB CLI describe component. Okay, this is what I told. This is, I told, this is nothing specific to your environment, right? But here what I'm telling, this is specific to my environment. What is installed in my environment currently? Jan 20. So what is the available version? Of course, we see 420. But if I'm recording this session in 14th of July. But next week, if you see, Oracle would have released one more July quarter patch. So that time here you will see 727. Correct. So installed version is 21. What is available version? So available version is April 20. Okay. So now, okay. So before start, okay. So now I'm going to apply the patch using DB CLI. So DB CLI is the tool provided by Oracle. Okay, for example, OPatch also a tool provided by Oracle to apply the patch. But every now and then Oracle will come up with the latest OPatch version, right? Why? Because to give some more, enhance the tool or to fix certain bugs, they will give you, some they will update the OPatch tool. In the same way, DB CLI also has n number of bugs. So Oracle will come up with some update. So it is always best practice to update the tool. Same like OPatch, you are getting the latest version. In the same way, DB CLI also, it is always better to update the tool before you start your activity, right? So what is the command? CLI ADM, in the same OPT Oracle DCS bin you will find out. CLI ADM update DB CLI. Okay, so whenever you use any command in VM DB system, DB CLI or CLI ADM, it will spawn it as a separate job. So every job has one ID, one unique ID. So this is the unique ID, right? So and it's created, started executing. So now I have to see what is a DB CLI will be updated. So I have to see DB CLI describe job, because this is a job. I have to pass this ID here. Okay, so when I pass this ID, it is showing me 100%. Maybe it will just take 2-3 minutes, maximum 5 minutes to update the tool. Okay, so then you will see the status like success, 100%. If it is a failure, but I have seen this update this tool will never fail. Mostly it will complete with 100%. Even in my experience, I have seen your grid patching, it will go very smoothly. Very rarely you will, if you are applying for so far I would have applied for 50 plus environment, might be 1 or 2 environment I would have got into very simple issues which can be easily fixed. But when you are applying a patch in database home, you will have n number of issues and you have to fix it. That in our next video we will go through that. Okay, so now so this is done, 100% success. Okay, so what I'm going to do, what is the command to apply a patch in a grid home? DB CLI update server. That is a command to apply a patch in a DB home. Okay, so sorry, in a grid home. So now still see, understand that still my users are connected. I am still doing the planning. I have not yet applied the patch. Okay, so before applying the patch, it is a good practice. It is not mandatory. It is good practice to use the pre-check command. Okay, it is good practice to use the pre-check command, so that you can somehow catch any pre-existing issues. For example, space issues, there is some connectivity issue to your object storage. So these kind of issues you can catch it at the time of planning itself, so that unnecessarily you will not get into a situation to extend your downtime window, right? So I just executed pre-check. Again, as I told you earlier, yeah, I got unique job ID. I'm describing the job ID. It is going on. Again, I'm displaying the job ID. So now it is 100% success, success, success. If you get fail, then of course you have to go through that. Correct? Okay, so now so here it takes at least 20-25 minutes, but just I captured the last screen 100%. Otherwise it will come like 50, 20, 30, 40. You will get it like that. Okay, so pre-check completed. So I am satisfied. Pre-check is completed. So now what we can do? We can go to downtime window. So when you are going to the downtime window, so far whatever I have done, applications users are connected. Now let us say my downtime window started here. Okay, so downtime window started. So once your downtime window started, you are going to apply the patch in the grid home. So you have to bring down your applications, you have to bring down your database, and yeah. So how you have to, in VM DB system, though it is non-rack, always you have to use SRVCTL to stop and start your database. -D and database unique name. So how do you find your database unique name? You can just get show parameter, connect your database, root container, show parameter DB unique. Unique name. Okay, so now so my databases are down. Suppose you can ask me whether it is, can we do the rolling patching? Yes, you can do the rolling patch in case of rack environment, of course, right? So non-rack, there is no way you can do the rolling, but if it is a rack, you can do the rolling. But again, your application should support, right? But if you take EBIS, there are some constraints. But if you're confident that my application supports rolling, of course you can go ahead with rolling. Okay, so now all my databases, everything down, applications are down. So it is always good practice to bounce your CRS. Okay, before that, you just take the the current state of the resource in your cluster, right? CRSCTL status resource -T will give you all your cluster resources and your current status. Okay, these are all just a good practice. It's not mandatory. Okay, also whether you are working on your legacy environment or whether you are working on your cloud environment, always it is good practice to bounce your cluster whenever you are going to do any cluster related activity, applying a patch on the cluster, or when you are when you are going to add a node on the cluster, or when you are going to upgrade the cluster. It is always best practice. It is always best practice it is always best practice to bounce the cluster, right? To bounce the cluster once. So CRSTTL stop CRS, start CRS. So if you have some pre-existing issue, some network change happened, some pre-existing issue, you will find it, so that you will not get into a situation to extend your downtime. And now itself you can see whether you can continue or not, or now itself you can fix the issues. Okay, so everything done. Now I'm going to apply a patch, DB CLI update server. So you can ask me, what is this version? You have not shown me this version before. Here also you can give the version. But here I always recommend you to do the version, right? So because why? Take for example, today if you use the command DB CLI update server. Okay, so it will, what is the latest version available? April. But if you execute the same command after 3 weeks, July patch would have released. So you will get, it will apply by default, because you are not supplying the patch number, you are just giving update server. So it will apply always the latest one. But practically it is not the right solution. Take for example, today I am applying I'm using this command in my non-prod. So it will apply April patch. But the same command, if you after 3 weeks customer is doing the same activity in the production, but that time if you use the same command in production, it will apply July. So customer has completed your testing using in non-prod using April patch, but in production, you are applying a July patch, which is not acceptable at any cost, right? Because always your production and non-prod, you should, first you have to apply in non-prod. Whatever you apply, you have to apply the same in the production to avoid any unnecessary issues in the production. Okay, unexpected issues in the production. So what you can do, you can pass the version here. So this is a version for April. So you can get all these version details from the Oracle Cloud document. So update server -v, this one. So if you use this one, even after applying the, today I'm applying this in my non-prod environment. So if you use the same command after 3 weeks in your or after 3 months also in your production environment, then it will apply only the April, not July. But okay, one thing you should know, your cloud is always allowed you to apply n or n-1. For example, now April is latest, so you can apply April or Jan, but you cannot go and apply October 2019. It is not allowed. But in legacy, you can apply anything because you are choosing the patch number. But here it is not the case. Okay, so this is just a simple command. So you just recollect how you will do the analysis in your legacy environment. In your legacy environment, you will find out what patches to apply in the grade. What is the patch number for your PSU? What is the patch number for OCW? What is the patch number for OJVM? Everything you have to do. But here I have not done any analysis. I just call update server. If I want, I am passing the version. So Oracle will automatically pick up the corresponding patches from object storage. It will push it to your OPT mount point temporarily, and it will apply it there. Okay, so all those analysis now it is eliminated in cloud. You are not going to do any analysis. Oracle will do everything for you in the background. Okay, okay. So now once you start applying the patch, see, whatever, though Oracle is using the tool DB CLI, in the background Oracle also should use OPatch or OPatch Auto, right? It is not magic, right? They cannot change the Oracle concepts, right? So they are going to use the OPatch or OPatch Auto. So as soon as you execute this command, you can go to this location CFG tools log OPatch Auto, and you can find the messages. For example, what all the things, some important things I have captured. So in the pre-check log, I found, okay, this is the patch it is going to skip. This is successfully analyzed to be applied because it is a pre-check. It is going to be, going to apply those. Okay, this is the actual OPatch log. Okay. Okay. So how do you apply a grid patch? Let us see. How do you apply a grid patch in the legacy environment? First, you will use pre-patch as a root user. What pre-patch will do? It will unlock your system, unlock the grid home, and bring down the CRS. Then you will use OPatch or OPatch Auto to apply the patch. Then what you will do? You will use post-patch. What post-patch will do? It will lock the grid home again, and bring up the CRS. This is a method we will use in legacy environment. But here I am not going to do anything. But the way Oracle operates, was it changed? No. Oracle is always Oracle. The core concepts, the core database concept is going to be same. But they are giving you some different tools, some wrapper. But in turn, this wrapper is going to call the actual, whatever you are going to do, it is going to do. So, but everything you can find it in the log file. So that is why, in this log, I have seen some important things. I capture it for you. So you should know, because see, sometimes it fails. So you should know at what stage. For example, to bring down the cluster, due to some reason it could not bring down the cluster. So what you can do, you can try to fix the issue and you can restart the DB CLI. But if you don't know what is happening in the background, then you are completely blank. You don't know what is happening in the background. You will just sit and you will go to Oracle support only. That is not the case. That is not the expectation here. You should know what is happening. You should try to troubleshoot. And okay, so this is very important. So as I told you, automatically it is calling pre-patch command. Okay, so of course pre-patch, what it is doing, it is bringing down the services. It is bringing down the services, correct? It is bringing down all the services. Okay, so cluster is coming down. Okay, so once the cluster, so pre-patch will unlock your grid home, because normally your grid home is, most of the binaries are owned by root. So when you are executing pre-patch, you can see the file owners and permission changes. Okay, so now once that is done, it is applying using OPatch auto. So OPatch auto succeeded. I just captured a message for our one patch, but it will apply n number of patches. Okay, so once the patch is applied, then what it will do, it will execute post patch. Okay, so it will execute post patch. So what post patch will do? Of course, post patch is bringing up the services. Right? Of course, post patch will bring up the services. Okay, then patches were successfully applied. Correct? So what you have to understand, though you are using the DB CLI update server, in the background Oracle is going to call the same thing. Oracle is going to call the same pre-patch, OPatch auto and post patch. Nothing different in the concept, but you are not going to do. You are not going to download the patch. You are not going to do the analysis for the patch, which is everything taken care by Oracle. But cluster is not coming down. Oracle cannot do anything. Cloud cannot do anything. That you have to do. You have to fix it. Okay. So now I have done. I'm executing describe component. Now if you see, installed version became 2004, and it is up to date. Right? And DB is same, because I have not yet updated on the DB home, which we are going to see in the next video. Okay, so apart from that, you will find one more log file. You should know, DCS agent log, very important log, which is in the OPT Oracle DCS log. What this log, this log file, whenever DB CLI is running, okay, so you are getting into some DB CLI related issue or some patch conflicts you are getting, everything it is recorded there. So always you have to monitor DB CLI logs as well. Also, once it started executing, you have to monitor OPatch log also, so that you will understand where it is failing. Okay, whether it is almost done, then you can restart it. Correct. But other thing is, you cannot say, okay, it failed on it's failed on while bringing down the services, so I'm going to do it manually. But the problem is, it will not update the this DB CLI repository. There are certain ways I can explain you later, but if it completes successfully, automatically it will update this one also. Okay, so this is how you have to apply a patch in VM DB system. Okay, so what just for recap, what we have learned. So we learned about the utility DB CLI, how to execute this utility. You have to call this utility using root. This utility, it will spawn a job, then you can describe the job, and you have to find DCS regions logs in OPT Oracle DCS logs, and you have a grid home, and here you have a container database. You should know about the container database. And though Oracle is using DB CLI, in the background it is going to use the same thing, pre-patch, apply, and OPatch apply and post patch. Okay, so that's all for DB CLI to apply the patch in the grid home, and the same thing we can do it for Oracle DB home, almost same, but there we have some additional steps because of course we have to run OJVM patches and some DB system and some database related post activity. You have to handle it manually. There are n number of issues, open issues, that also so far I would have applied for 50 plus production environment in cloud, so I can what are the known issues you may encounter, so I can help you on that. Okay, so that's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you later.